This is Paddock 43, the podcast, your weekly rundown giving you all things F1 from both on and off the track.
From races, trades, rumours, the lifestyle, and all the things that come with the F1 world.
We are Amy, Elle, and Pat. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to another episode of Paddock 43, guys.
Ooh.
We do not have a race to talk about, so we are going to be chatting all about, F1 rumours, silly season, but I don't think the silly season so far has been as interesting as last year. No bombshells yet.
The silly season hasn't started yet.
No.
I'm
just waiting for the bombshell.
I'm waiting for the silliness to come.
There's been a few bits and tits and bits.
Bits and
bits going on.
Bits and chips.
But not a whole lot.
No.
But before we crack into it, as usual, how was everyone's weekend?
Gorgeous. I had a lovely weekend. I had a girlfriend come visit from Sydney.
Nice.
Well, she lives in Canberra, but I just say Sydney because she's originally from Sydney. And we once again went to football. Shock me. I'm going to football again.
Surprise.
That's what happens when you date an AFL player.
Ex-AFL player.
Oh, I was going to say ex-AFL, not ex.
Now Iron Man.
Iron Man.
And then, we went out to dinner, slightly hungover on Sunday. I don't know if I should say this.
That's fine.
That's fine. We're all adults.
We're adults. It happens.
We are. And then, just watching Twitter, X, whatever you feel like calling it.
Oh, gosh.
Giving me some updates, and that's about it.
Nice.
What did you guys do?
What did I do? I didn't do much. Went out for dinner on Saturday night. I actually picked up my wedding dress on Friday.
Exciting.
Woo. I mean, this wasn't on the weekend. Do we consider Thursday the weekend?
Yeah.
Yep. So 2/3 of us, Amy, you couldn't join us, but Elle and I went and saw the new Gran Turismo movie and we missed you, Amy.
I'm so sad.
And it's really good.
Very good. We cried.
Reviews are embargoed until the 8th,
which is
when
tomorrow.
this podcast will come out. So here is my honest review. Does anyone want to hear it? Do you want to hear my? Do you have an honest review?
Yeah,
I'm ready because I haven't seen it. Obviously, tell me.
So the acting at the start is questionable, but bear with it because the story is so good.
So good.
It's based on a true story. And it really gets the feels. And we were sitting in like the third row, so like the closest that you can get pretty much to the
How are your necks?
screen. Oh, we were so
yeah.
We're
I
all,
had like a
looking
tight
up.
bun in. I had to take it out because I was like, I can't do this and have a bun at the same time.
But it kind of made us like, it made you feel like you're there
part of the
a little
action.
bit more, which was actually kind of fun. And then it was quite emotional. And then also, who's the special guest, Pat?
Jerry Hallowell Horner.
So it was really cool.
She's a really good actor, mind you.
I love her.
So for anyone that doesn't know what the movie is about,
I'm sure many of you know the Gran Turismo game. It is a computer / Xbox / PlayStation game. Simulation game. And it was the first of its kind, probably one of the best simulations of a track. And I think it was in 2012, I believe, Nissan decided to make an academy and have almost a competition of the best drivers from the game, so simulation drivers to actually compete.
and then whoever won, then got Nissan sponsored them and put them in the races.
Yes.
Wait,
and
so they raced on the simulator and then
So
they
I-
got
Yeah,
the
they
spot
got
on the
put in-
track.
Yeah.
So like the
That's
best,
really cool.
the best in the simulators got to actually race.
Have you been on a simulator?
we have one at
try.
home.
Oh, beautiful.
Do you have one at home? Oh my God, I'm coming over.
Yeah, literally. We've got the full everything.
I tried one at the movie and it was not good.
Oh yeah, I
really
saw
bad.
that.
Peter was coaching Elle. It was great.
I think Peter and Tom were just standing there like,
What are you doing?
just get off, you're embarrassing us, please.
I remember I tried a simulator at the Grand Prix in 2019.
Yeah.
I was probably a bottle and a half of champagne deep. I did a few 360s into the gravel.
We borrowed our friend's VR once, and because we have the Formula One game at home. And that is incredible. Like, you hold up your hands, you see the gloves, you look behind you, you see the stands, you see the back of the car. But no, it was a really good movie. Elle and I were crying at the end. I just love when movies that are based around true stories then have footage of the actual story. So you see it at the end. I'm not going to give it away, but yeah, no, it's really good.
I highly recommend everyone seeing that.
Yes, but we did that on Thursday. Amy, we missed you.
I missed you.
There was an
guys.
empty seat next to us. It was yours.
Oh, that's really sad. Was there actually one there?
There was lots of empty seats,
Oh,
but we'll
okay.
just say that.
I was like, don't tell me that they actually had a seat there for me. And
Amy. That was Thursday. How was your weekend, Elle?
God, another episode of me saying I did nothing but sleep all weekend. But this weekend it was because I had a kidney infection. So, different reasons.
that's always
Yeah.
fun.
So I slept and did not much else. But what's different? Hey, that's the same thing every weekend when you guys ask.
The drivers might be on holidays, but Elle is still doing the same thing.
Exactly. So, but I'm here. I'm back. And feeling a lot better.
Yay.
Thank
Good.
you
Yay.
to antibiotics
And
lots of
lots
water.
of water.
And this is your sign. If you have water in front of you right now,
Drink
take
it.
a sip.
I'm going to take a sip.
The water noises that just came out of the microphones right then was a lot in our ears. Oh, there you go. You heard that. But yeah, keep up your hydration, kids.
Just quickly, I thought one thing to bring up that during the F1 summer break, all teams are required to shut down for 14 days.
Yeah, they say that.
Yeah. I guess there's no.
The French
The
aren't
FIA
shutting down for sure. Actually, no, the French are definitely shutting down. I take that
Drive
back.
to Survive last year, they were filming Christian Horner on his summer break. And he and Jerry are having a barbecue talking about how he shouldn't be working because he's on his mandatory break.
Well, he's not doing his main
I
work.
think
No, but they
there's-
were because he was talking about driver contracts.
Oh.
I think they can talk about that. It's more like the wind tunnels production,
I think there's
Like the
cars,
factories?
component assemblies,
I think
like,
it's everything's supposed to shut down.
like admin, all that sort of stuff can still
That makes sense,
stay up and
though.
running. Yeah.
That
So
makes, yeah.
I think it's more just to give
Factory work.
factory workers a break as well,
Yeah.
which they need. They would work so
But also
hard.
because, like, say Europe, because predominantly all the cars, their factories are based across Europe, but all of Europe is basically on holidays all of August. So it makes sense. The factory workers deserve it too, even though they think that the F1 doesn't sleep. It must.
Well, right now I'm just seeing a lot of yachts and
I'm not seeing that
Beach
many
shots.
just yet.
and all sorts.
I enjoyed Lance Stroll's posts.
He was at a club somewhere.
I'm sure they all are.
Oh yeah, they probably all are.
Lando Norris and Raya.
Max, oh I know.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And any single ladies in Europe.
Yeah.
Lando Norris apparently is out on the dating apps, so he's single and ready to mingle. So hit that one up if you're on Raya.
Ugh.
Max and Kelly jumped on their private jet and they flew
were-
somewhere.
Straight off. But I haven't seen as much content as what I normally would
Me
during a
too.
summer break. I know it's early days, but haven't really seen anything from Charles, haven't seen anything from Carlos, haven't seen anything from Danny.
I've seen stuff from Charles and Carlos, but they've
Really?
been not directly from them, like more like gossip pages, like
Oh, yeah.
fans taking photos of them in the background of them being in clubs and things like that.
Okay.
But Oscar, he's been working.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also been at the Moto GPs.
Mm.
He's been
Oh my
hanging
God.
around there.
Did you see his mum's tweet?
Which one did she do?
What did she? Do you mean her ex?
Huh?
Her ex. Do we call her
Her
ex?
ex? Oh, that sounds so weird.
It sounds so weird.
No, because there was a photo of Oscar at the MotoGP, and she tweeted, she was like, "Oh no, you don't!" with exclamation marks. Move away from the bike, Oscar Jack Piastri. My heart can barely cope with cars.
Oh my God, I love her.
She's amazing.
She's
so
a boss.
good. She's so good. Well, I mean, I wouldn't exactly count that as working, but he's obviously
No.
interested in that and he's still supporting it.
Imagine just Oscar Piastri just competes in MotoGP as well.
The fact that he's like at the MotoGP and everyone else is enjoying their summer break, like that is what I can imagine him doing. I can imagine him being out of work, but like not focusing on work, but still having to, for his sake,
he's
doing
still too
something
focused.
that's somewhat like work focused rather than like at a beach bar in Mykonos or something.
Did you remember when they asked Max what he's doing for his summer break?
Driving.
Studying.
No, he goes, I'm doing a lot of wrist work.
Oh,
I'll let your brains go there for a second. I died and Charles was just like sitting there giggling like wrist work. He's like, it's not what you think. Whatever his accent is.
there's your Russian accent.
It's not Russian.
It's not what you think.
But speaking of Max, Crofty put us all in his place, put all of us in his place saying that
Our place?
our place, put all of us in our place, like complaining about Max always winning, and they were like, you obviously don't appreciate the race. And I was like, okay.
I can appreciate what they're doing. Like we're witnessing history.
We are.
Like I don't think we will ever, we might see it next year or the year after, but I don't think we'll ever see this type of dominance again for a very long time.
Unless we see Oscar in a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Who predicted that last week?
Zoom, zoom.
I don't know.
You said McLaren would get rid of Oscar.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say McLaren. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to clear that up. All right. I did not mean to say that McLaren would get rid of Oscar Orlando. What I meant was, obviously you can tell that the cogs in my brain were not working. That I meant to say cogs still not working. That Oscar Orlando might leave McLaren. That was what I said. And I actually have some intel on that now.
That's for later.
Actually could be interesting.
Isn't it
to
for
discuss.
later?
We can discuss it later if you want. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess listeners, you have to keep listening to find out what that little bit of tidbit is.
Oh my goodness.
I can't get that right. You know what I mean? Okay. On to the next.
Goodbye.
So, Hugo Boss and Red Bull racing.
Boss Bulls.
Boss Bulls.
Amy.
Hugo Boss Bulls Racing.
It's a name.
It's an interest. It's
Who
it's a
came up with
mouthful.
that?
Hugo Boss Bull Racing. Hugo Boss Bull Racing.
Is it confirmed, that name?
No, I don't think it's confirmed. I think that's just, I don't know, a suggestion has been.
Well, we veto that suggestion.
Yeah, we don't like it.
It's kind of funny though.
It
Is it?
is. I mean, like,
Hugo Boss Bull Racing.
It's funny till it's not funny.
I don't know if I
If
like,
something
I don't
happens.
like
I
it.
actually think Hugo Boss Red Bull Racing sounds better.
Yeah,
That's a long name.
This
though.
is Hugo Boss Bull. It sounds like balls.
yeah.
Hugo Balls.
I think I
But you
said,
can't have Red Bull in there. Can you? I don't think you can have Red Bull in there.
I don't.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, because I was like, it sounds like it's a bull named Hugo that has fast bulls.
Yes. A bull who's a boss. But Amy, can you tell us more about what we're talking about for the listeners that are confused at home?
Okay, so as we have heard many times, AlphaTauri is undergoing a huge rebranding journey. I feel like that also kind of was one of the reasons why Danny was brought in. Because, he has such a big presence. And a big pull as well. But Hugo Boss is set to take over the team's naming and sponsorship rights. And as you said before, it could be Hugo
Balls. Hugo Balls.
Hugo Boss Bulls Racing. Yes. The CEO of Hugo Boss, Daniel Grieder, used to be at Tommy Hilfiger, where he actually worked with Lewis Hamilton. And which is interesting because I think Hugo Boss used to be affiliated with Mercedes and McLaren.
Oh, okay.
And then as well as Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm remembering that now.
Yeah. So he used to be there. And he wanted to achieve a $4 billion annual sale by 2025, but they've had a huge surge in sales. So now they've gone to $5 billion.
Nice.
Which is insane.
Changing those goalposts. I like it.
Just an extra $1 billion, as you do. So I guess the main plan was Grieder wants to incorporate more clothing brands under the Hugo Boss name. So that's why they're bringing in AlphaTauri. So I think it's more, I could be totally wrong, but I'm assuming that it's more Hugo Boss buying the AlphaTauri name rather than them taking it over just the sponsorship. I don't know.
Well, that could be good because AlphaTauri's clothes sucks. So maybe Hugo Boss can make it better.
Yeah, so I
Sorry, that was
Tell
savage.
us how you really feel.
I think I need to clarify, do some more research into this. If it's just coming under the Hugo Boss umbrella or if they're completely buying out AlphaTauri.
Okay.
And then, they get to decide on the new name, whatever that might be.
AlphaTauri and Hugo Boss, if you're listening, Hugo Boss Bull Racing is a no-go.
Please don't do it.
It's veto from us.
We'll come up with some extra names.
Yeah,
Shall
and
we
it won't
We'll
be
put it
that.
on a poll.
Yeah.
And we'll get Hugo Boss to look at the poll.
Yeah.
Because obviously Hugo Boss is listening.
Of course, everyone is.
But it should be an exciting future for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a Hugo Boss car is going to look schmick.
Yeah, it'll look good.
I mean, I'd still love...
Might not be fast,
I'd still
but-
love Enchanté to take over.
Enchanté.
Imagine Enchanté on the
Speaking
Saturday.
of Enchanté.
Wait, side note, Enchanté, what is it?
Enchante is Danny Ricciardo's merch brand, fashion brand. It's probably, I would say,
They do some really cool stuff.
the coolest driver's own brand.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of them that have their own brands, and I think Danny's the only one that's actually done it well.
Danny's the only one that you would actually want to wear.
It's just cool.
One that
and
I want
effortless.
to wear so badly that I placed an order 3 weeks ago, and it's yet to come. Followed it up, and I have just received an email saying it's still in transit, but also to note that I will need to pay customs.
I used to work in shipping, and I said to Elle that that's not right, because if you have to pay customs, it should be calculated at the beginning.
Daniel.
And
You're
that means
Australian.
that means that potentially something's gone on with the shipping method or something. But yeah, no.
You're Australian. It's very frustrating. That's not cheap. Anyway, you will see me in here with my full Enchante gear soon. But an
I'm ready for
Enchante car could be quite cool.
And
Imagine.
Daniel, if you're listening, we want to wear your merch without having to pay customs.
Yes,
I
without
mean,
customs, please.
Surely he can buy naming rights. He has enough money.
Surely he can pay for customs.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So
It's like $300 for a jumper and a hat. Now I have to pay. Anyway, keep going on.
moving on. What is your favorite rumor so far?
Oh, my one would be Checo. And this one is not confirmed, but it's definitely one that's going around and one that is interesting and lines up. So the first person to bring this to attention, his name is Eric Van Hahn, I believe is his name, and he's an F1 sports journalist. And he has found a clause in Checo's contract that says if he is a 125-point deficit to the other driver from Red Bull, his salary, Checo's salary will be reduced and he will not be up for bonuses. And apparently there's other things that can happen in there. So for anyone that doesn't know, currently there is exactly a 125-point difference.
I want to know how he got his hands on Checo's contract.
Yeah, I would love to see a driver's contract.
Well, apparently he's also a very reliable source, this journalist. So
Who leaked that?
Yeah.
Who are you?
who are you?
Come on the podcast.
We'd like to
Please.
speak to you. We can
Tell us what's happening.
Yeah.
we can do something to your voice if you don't want. Anyway,
Yeah.
we can blur it out. But that's interesting, and I also think it's kind of unfair. And it's, to me, it's like this contract has been designed for Max, and that's why they're always saying to Max, just get that extra point, even though he's so far in front, because then Red Bull don't have to pay out bonuses.
Isn't that interesting?
I mean, it's not uncommon for athletes to have like performance clauses, but for this to be so specific on numbers, like why 125 points?
I haven't seen.
Why not just 100
Yeah,
or maybe like 180?
I haven't seen anything with this sort of clause before. That's sort of come
But
out,
where would
unless
you-
I don't know where you'd find that. Googling? Probably find it on
Or
Google.
if someone's
I tried
leaked it?
Googling. I looked at
They probably weren't expecting a
Gasly.
125-point deficit though anyway.
yeah.
But I probably thought Checo would be
But
closer.
I think as well I mean, I'm no lawyer nor am I a contracts lawyer, but I think I assume they have to put something in a contract that's like quantifiable, like with anything.
Yeah.
So maybe they would have to say, like, they can't just say, however many points, like they have to be specific and come up with numbers that may, and that's probably where when they're like in contract negotiations where potentially they would have said if there's a 50-point difference and, then Checo's lawyers would go back and they would sort of go back and forth and agree with a figure. And that's just one thing. There would be so many things where something would be quantifiable, Like it sounds like a random number to us, but
I get that.
Yeah.
But then the conspiracy theorist in me goes, hang on. But then that's why they're saying Max.
yeah.
Like, get that extra point because we don't have to pay a bonus. Like, we get the money.
There'd be a formula to it, like to that number. But
Yeah, there would be.
Yeah,
They probably were never expecting it to be that large of a deficit at this point. I don't know.
No. Well, I'm sure, within the contract negotiations when they came to that figure, I'm sure Checo's lawyers were like, oh, this won't happen. Fast forward 6 months.
I'll check.
plot twist.
I'll check. What are your favorite rumors? What have you guys Heard.
Charles Leclerc also apparently spoke to Mercedes and Red Bull before signing his 160 million euro contract with Ferrari. 32 mil a year and can be raised to $42 million in 2029. So, yeah, he's guaranteed 2 years, out clauses, out options, and an option to extend until 2029.
I'm happy.
It's not a bad deal. I'd take that. I'd take that.
32.
But after my performance on the simulation, I don't think anyone would take me. So
I don't think so.
You weren't there. You didn't say it.
No, I saw videos.
You were confident though.
I was confident because I had to be.
But then apparently science also asked for the same. But I don't think it's going too well.
Oh, you
I don't
reckon
know.
he's going to get less?
I did read something where it
know.
said, I did read something where it said Ferrari shunned Carlos Sainz contract demands, but who knows?
But apparently he's considering Alpine as well.
Really?
Yeah. He'd be reunited with Mattia Binotto. I mean, if he goes to
Alpine.
Carlos's pre-contract rumours with Audi.
I can see that happening.
I think that'll happen. I think he came out and stated that he wants to basically have the next contract ready to go once it finishes up with Ferrari. So,
Yeah.
smart boy.
Smart boy.
But yeah, I think it's mainly because of his father, Carlos Sainz Sr.
Well, Carlos Sainz Sr. has lots of connections.
Yeah.
I feel like in the F1 world, you have to have lots of connections.
You have to have money.
You have to have money and connections.
And Carlos is here's me being biased. Carlos is a good driver, so he'll be fine.
Well, I have contract rumours on Lando and Oscar.
Oy, oy, oy. Here we go again.
La 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 la.
So I will say this. Zach Brown says that there's no clause in Lando's contract for him to escape his McLaren contract until 2025. But hear me out. And this one may hurt. And it's not as rogue as last week because I actually looked into this one. And last week was just an idea in my head.
So there's solid evidence behind this one.
Lando and Oscar are reported to leave McLaren for a combination of Red Bull and Ferrari. Did I not say something like that last week? Is there evidence back to
Where
my
did you
thinking?
read this though?
So apparently preliminary contracts have been signed. That is Lando to Ferrari and Oscar to Red Bull. So essentially Ferrari they're saying as soon as Lando is ready to leave McLaren, they will help him do that and they will pay for him to get out so he can go to Ferrari. But Lando also said at the start of the season that he did think about leaving, but that was also before his car was obviously performing so well. And now it's different. And then obviously he said, what was it, 2 weeks ago, a week now, to
He just
Naomi
wants to
Schiff
win.
that he wants to win in Papaya. So a little bit different. And I don't think Lando would want to be second to Max. I think that's the big problem about going to Red Bull. But
Wait, did you say so Lando would go to Ferrari and Oscar would go to Red Bull?
I can see Oscar going to Red Bull.
I can see that too. Yeah. Again, I don't see them moving until end of mid 2024, 2025.
the hard thing with Ferrari is at the moment they've kind of lost that legendary status because there seems to be lots of fumbling going on. There almost seems to be a massive overhaul within the whole team.
I know, but the frustrating thing is that maybe I'm being biased, but I think they have really good drivers. They're just making
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
terrible decisions.
Everything needs to be
Yeah.
overhauled.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
when we were at the movies on Thursday and they had a
Yeah.
moment in the pit and we both looked at each other and we were like, Ferrari.
Typical for they
It was not Ferrari.
fumbled or something. I was like, oh, here we go.
Shock me.
That makes sense.
Shock horror.
Shock.
But yeah, why would you want to leave McLaren to go to Ferrari?
I mean, I think
New changes.
yeah, and within the
beginnings.
Formula One world, Ferraris
It's
legendary,
Yeah.
historically.
historic status. That would be
yeah,
why. So
And I guess if you're getting offered more money as well.
yeah. Well, money talks. I actually would even almost be ready to place a bet or something on the fact that I can see Piastri going to Red Bull.
I could see that happening as well. Definitely.
Imagine, oh gosh, just thinking, imagine him and Verstappen on a team together. That would be like
Chaotic.
chaos in the best possible way for them and worst possible way for the rest of us. It would just be like they would win the championship within like 6 races.
True. Well,
They would win constructors and drivers.
more fans would leave the sport.
speaking of someone that's left the sport, Nick DeVries, he's actually jumping in an F2 car in I think this weekend or next weekend.
Oh, bless his cotton
Going back.
socks.
At least he's in a car. And you know, keep working, keep pushing, and then he can always go back to F1.
You know what's exciting about the F2 and the F3 as well is that they've now confirmed the calendars for those two fields next year.
Yes,
And they
have
really are following the F1 more. So it's exciting because
more action.
But obviously a lot of those reserve drivers will be in F2. And with silly season coming up, and as you know, we're talking about the other week, Amy, you were saying seat changes, and they have to give those F2 drivers an opportunity in a car.
So each team also, they have to have a rookie or reserve driver get in a car for a practice session, which is fun for them, which is kind of as we saw how Nick DeVries got his seat.
Yeah.
But then
Quickly lost it.
didn't work out too well for the poor guy.
Doesn't mean everything if you get that one race.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see them come up.
And they're louder.
They are louder.
We like the
them.
noise.
Zoom, zoom.
I was about to say it's like the olden days, but we're really not that old. And then I know people will come for us.
Yeah, I
if we
know.
say-
Oh my God. I
It is
remember
like the good old days.
I don't know if we spoke about this on the podcast or not. The other week, I posted a video about how much I liked I think it was the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying. And this man commented and he's like, oh, did you not watch the 1996 Canadian qualifying? It's like, dude, I was 3. Like, I'm sorry, I haven't watched it. It was, I think I worked it out. It would have been like a total of 500 and something qualifying sessions from when I was born to now.
Some really like mean old men in motorsports to young females.
Yeah.
They're
And
just mad.
They're coming out hot.
They
are.
We're copying like on some of the videos. Just there was one video that we posted the other day, and someone commented being like, "I love Netflix, but now I hate it because of this." And I was like,
Shame we're not affiliated to Netflix.
I just went off at him.
People are just dirty for absolutely no reason.
I was like, I'm sorry, can we not love the sport? And also we loved it before Netflix and we still love it and other people love it as well. Like, I'm sorry.
It's like, sorry, you were gatekeeping.
Don't be mean.
Did you want to come and sit behind the microphone?
You can come.
No, keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors,
wouldn't know how-
exactly. They wouldn't come and sit behind the microphone.
You wouldn't know how to speak in real life.
I feel like it's important to mention drivers whose contracts are finishing up.
One that we have not really heard of, Lewis Hamilton. His contract with Mercedes.
It's still not secured as well.
Yeah.
They've rumoured to have it secured in Silverstone.
Apparently they're close, like what we were touching on before. Could you imagine the back and forth over the most minute details?
I don't know where I saw this, but then apparently there are also rumours of retirement or a move to Ferrari.
I was about to say this. I was literally about to say this. That this was the other thing that I heard as well, that it could be a retirement or a move to Ferrari. And that's why they're fighting so hard, because Lewis is frustrated. He's really frustrated with that car and that team.
I could not imagine Lewis
I could.
in a Ferrari. Could you?
Yep, I could. And I could see it.
Can someone
Again, Ferrari, legendary status.
Yeah.
End your career on that legendary status after the career that he's had.
Yeah, I can see it.
That'd be iconic.
Legend
Plot twist.
and legend meet.
Imagine if you just like
Come together and you make super legend.
Super baby legend.
woo. Imagine if he went to Red Bull. How hectic would that be? I know he
Well,
would, but
he did say if he was driving
Yeah,
Checo's car,
exactly.
Max would have actual competition.
if he's planting the seed. He's like, I'm actually coming to Red Bull.
He's like, I could do that. Fuck shit up.
Oh.
Red Bull. Oh. I mean, I'd love to see it, but I don't think I can see it, but I would love to see it.
anyway,
I actually think that out of all the silly season things so far, I think that's my favourite one.
Lewis.
So there are a few other drivers that are out of contract at the end of the year.
Yeah, so we also have Logan Sargent. So he's the first US driver since 2015, but he's doing okay at Williams, not getting too much attention. Yeah, not as much attention as Alex Albon, but I still think he might get another season. I mean, there's kind of, who else are they really going to get in? And I think we said this in another episode that they like to nurture their rookies a little bit more.
Cradle them.
Yeah, like we mentioned, Williams are kind. They're a kind racing team.
They're lovely.
Who else?
We have Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah, I mean, Yuki's done quite well this season, I think. He did have a rough start and he's improved quite a lot. He's consistent now and I think Red Bull will end up keeping him, but
I think they really like him.
I know I said this once, but yeah, I don't think he'll take Checo's seat. I don't think he's ready for that.
Oh, no, no, not yet.
No.
Maybe.
He barely even has points this year.
Yeah.
No,
He's a
Danny
little
would take
baby.
that seat before.
And then the next driver is Daniel Ricciardo.
Well, that's the big question at the moment, isn't it?
Big question
I
mark.
think Daniel should pay for my customs.
She's not salty.
Well, I think Danny could be going to Ferrari. I feel it in my bones as well.
The Ferrari.
I don't know.
There's either one Australian or another Australian going to take Checo's seat. That's what I think.
Who else is there?
Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say about that one. So, yeah.
He's very much just a...
I think they're just going to keep those drivers
He's
there.
a
I
good
think
driver.
so
He's
too.
not really doing much. And I think they'll just keep him.
I think
Haas
Haas
will
is
just...
Yeah, sorry. I think Haas's problem is their cars, not their drivers.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Yeah. And Nico Hulkenberg. So, yeah.
Hulkenberg.
Took Mick Schumacher's seat.
Oh, yeah, Mick Schumacher. I wonder if he's going to be popping back up on the grid anytime soon.
I hope so. I think so. Like
I just like saying Hulkenberg's name. So.
Hulkenberg.
So I hope he doesn't go anywhere because I like saying it.
But I think he's just been a steady driver.
That's good. Yeah, good way to put it.
Steady. Steady. And then Joe Guan Yu.
Oh, sure.
Not much talk about his future. And yeah, he might get another year, but
We'll see.
The rest
that's
of the
about it.
season will
Yeah. Yeah, the big ones to talk about would be Daniel and Lewis.
Lewis, it's razzing me.
One thing that I have seen, because I was saying, I think that, it's only 1 week into their summer holidays, and I think that the drivers have been quite quiet and we're not seeing much apart from some of the gossip pages. I was saying earlier today that, I love Carmen and George. Carmen's been posting heaps. George hasn't been posting much. But you know who has been posting?
Who?
Roscoe.
Roscoe.
Yep. I know that Lewis is at a beach somewhere because Roscoe is at the beach.
I love that.
Roscoe.
Roscoe living
Good
his
on the
best
ground.
life.
Roscoe living his best life.
You were to come back as a dog, you'd want to be Lewis Hamilton's dog.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, I love him. Lots going on.
Lots going on.
Well, a little bit going on. Lots of rumblings, but
One last rumbling
yeah.
and one that I don't think the three of us really care about, but I'm putting it out there. Someone
Yeah.
that's lost their mojo kind of or losing their mojo. Lance Stroll.
Oh yeah. Mm.
And that he might be, leaving the sport. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
he got a rich daddy, so I don't think he's got
I can
limited
see.
options.
I can see Lance going into other motorsports. I could see him wanting to do
IndyCar or something.
or Le
I reckon Le Mans.
Mans.
I was gonna- yeah.
Le Mans, maybe even Dakar or something. I think I can see him kind of going into that, but he's so young.
I can see him building a team into Le Mans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, considering, Alonso's had 6 podiums. He hasn't made a top 3. So,
Yeah.
poor guy. But, okay. So that takes us to the end of the first silly season week.
It's good
We're
because
2 weeks closer. We're 2 weeks closer.
We're 3 weeks closer to spring here in Australia. That's all I'm thinking about.
Oh, my God.
That is my
I'm so excited.
countdown in my head.
I'll be in
Spring.
Barcelona.
Oh, yeah, you will.
We don't talk to Pat.
Yeah. Shoo.
She'll be sunning herself, except Amy and I will be like, oh, it's spring. But it's still the same temperature, but mentally, it's spring.
It's still 16 degrees, but it's spring.
But also, we're 1 week into silly season. Not too much has gone on, but I think,
I'm sure we'll have some bombshells for you next week.
yeah.
I'm like, surely we're going to have something juicy.
Well, we might have something juicy. And then we might have something even juicier because we have our first guest next week. So we will introduce that later. You'll find out. And it's going to be a real goodie, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First guest.
Which we're excited to have in the studio.
And I think the listeners will love this guest. Yeah.
I'm personally very
Definitely.
excited. And when I met this person at Melbourne Grand Prix, I fangirled so much. And I stopped talking. I was just like,
And that's shocking for Elle to stop talking.
Yeah.
so I'm going to be sitting here next week just being like, and you guys are going to have to
Hold the conversation.
Yeah. We'll keep it going. What else is that? Like that meme with the love heart eyes?
Yes. When SpongeBob.
She's
An
going to
emoji.
faint. Yeah. Why did I say meme?
Emoji.
Emoji.
Thank you everyone for listening. Obviously, like we say, we want to keep the conversation going. Elle, where can our listeners find us?
Padding 43 podcast, Instagram and TikTok, and wherever you get your podcast. But you're already listening to this, so I guess that platform.
Please make sure to like, rate, and subscribe. 5 stars. 5 stars.
Only 5 stars.
only.
Really love to see those subscribes coming in hot. And how are you
Also-
feeling about the...
We hit our 2,000 downloads. So
Woohoo! 2,000 downloads.
thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. But now we want more.
Yes. Yeah. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.